Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Factly Digest. This is the third edition of this fortnightly live that we here at Factly are bringing to you. The intro this sorry the reason behind doing this is for us to introduce you to the work that we do here, and also to take your questions in real time, get to know you better, what kind of content you want, or what kind of questions you have about the work that we do. It's essentially meant to be an interactive session, and we will be chatting with members of the teams here at Factly, so that you get a real sense of peeking into the inside of what goes on here. That said, I'm Parvati Mohan. I lead the audiovisual production efforts here at Factly. And a quick reminder, our memberships are live. It's called Team Factly. A great way for you to show your support for the kind of work that we do. You get access to a few exclusive emojis, and apart from that, also your comments on our videos will get priority in terms of being answered. So definitely check out what we have on offer by clicking that join button next to our name. And also remember to ask your questions not just on our videos and content, but right now as we are live. And I have so the members of my team will send the questions to me, and I will we will try to answer as many of them as we can. So please do ask us your questions. And that said, let's get into the fortnightly highlight that we're here for. Joining me for the first time on the Factly Digest is Harsha Vardhan. She's from the fact check team, and you are familiar with our fact check work. We post videos, fact check videos every single day on our channel, and all of that content, of course, comes from the fact check team. So, hi Harsha, welcome to the Factly Digest.
Hi.
Quickly then, we'll first like to hear about what the main trends have been in over the past 2 weeks in the whole misinformation and disinformation space.
Yeah. Hi. After the conclusion of Karnataka Assembly elections, misinformation related to EVMs has been the dominant trend in the past fortnight. Yeah, one video claims to show that a poll agent is casting votes on behalf of others has
Mhm.
become viral in the past week.
Right.
But upon investigation, we found that the video is old and is not related to recent Karnataka elections, and it is from the 2022 West Bengal municipal elections. And similarly, there has been a spike of misinformation related to EVMs, where one video shows that some individuals are destroying the EVMs, which are uh, illegally transported by BJP vehicles, BJP leaders of BJP vehicle. So, but we found that the claim is false,
Mm.
and some misguided villagers have destroyed the reserved EVMs. Reserved EVMs means they are not used in the elections.
Right.
So they destroyed the reserved EVMs based on some rumors that election officials are mishandling the EVMs like that. And after the declaration of the results, there has been a spike of misinformation related to the election margins, victory margins
Right.
victory margins in some constituencies. We debunked these claims based on the data from the Election Commission websites.
Yeah.
Similarly, some old videos are resurfaced, linking them to recent Karnataka Assembly elections.
Right.
For example, a video of slaughtering of the cow on the flag of the BJP went viral in the last week.
Yes.
But actually, it is a video from the Manipur 2022 Assembly elections where some followers of the local leaders did that act for not getting tickets from BJP tickets for 2022 Manipur Assembly elections.
Right.
Similarly, some unrelated old videos have went viral from Telangana and Maharashtra, linking them to recent Karnataka Assembly elections.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the trend in the past week.
A lot of the incidents, a lot of the fact checks that Harsha has mentioned, we have also done videos on. So those are all, of course, on our YouTube channel. And for the rest, do visit factly.in. That's our website, and go to the fact check portion, and you will find the relevant fact checks in English and in Telugu. Um, but speaking of the Karnataka elections, there were also some rumors about Pakistan Zindabad slogans being raised by people in the state. So take us through those fact checks.
Yeah, there have been reports of some people raising such slogans in Belgaum city of Karnataka.
Right.
But there are also some counter allegations that the particular video footage may have been doctored. Means that audio of this footage may have been
Mm.
doctored. So, but to investigate in this matter, in this video, we need access to live footage and some forensic tools.
Mm.
But but the video has been not shot by some mainstream media. It has
Mm.
been randomly shot by some mobile, so we cannot get this live footage. And even though we have some forensic analysis tools, considering the sensitivity of the issue, we cannot just give a definitive conclusion based on the output from the forensic tools. And so the matter is currently under investigation.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've been speaking only about the Karnataka elections and all the fake news related to it, but apart from that, what has really been happening in the fake news circuits? Also, I find it hard to believe that there hasn't been anything on the Kerala story because everyone has an opinion about this movie. So, what are these other stories?
Yeah, there is some misinformation circulating around the Kerala story, which has gained some popularity
Yes.
recently. Mostly the claims are related to the actors and actresses who acted in that movie,
Mm-hmm.
and the impact of the Kerala story movie on the youth of the country.
Yeah.
And we have debunked these claims. You can check on the website. And the most important trend we observed recently is the misinformation related to the AI chatbots. Recently Googlebot and
Right.
uh,
Yes.
ChatGPT has got popularity among the tech circles. So some scammers have been using Facebook and other social media pages
Mm.
to scam the people by sharing the links of the malicious softwares
Mm.
disguised as the downloadable versions of ChatGPT and Googlebot. So it is advised for the users not to click on such type of links, and always go through the official pages of these chatbots. Yeah.
So, that's a great tip that Harsha has shared, which is that always cross check, verify when you come across something that you think may not be trustworthy. Sometimes even a post that looks very
Yeah.
trustworthy may not actually be from a legitimate source. So always cross check everything that you're, especially when you're giving out data or any kind of financial transaction is involved. Always make sure that you check. And if you're not able to, if you don't know how, you can always get back to us. We have a WhatsApp tip line. The number will be up on your screen just now. And you can always come. You go to our website factly.in. There's a link to it right there. Make use of this facility, and always get back to us if you have any concerns over whether some information you found on the internet is true or not. Um, and with that, we are done with the update from the fact check team. Thank you so much for joining us, Harsha.
Yeah.
All right. The next team that we will be talking to is the newsroom. And my colleague Bharat is joining us shortly to talk about it, to talk about the update from the past 2 weeks. But in the meantime, let me please remind all of you that you can ask your questions in the live chat, and we will take them towards the end of the show. And of course, uh, a quick reminder about our memberships as well. You can explore that. Join Team Factly, show your support for the work we do, and how and yes, I think watch all the lives that have happened so far to get a sense of uh, to get a proper sense of what it is exactly that we do. Okay. Sorry for that delay. I think we had a little bit of a technical issue going on, but yes, like I said, this is you've met Bharat if you've joined us on our
Yeah.
previous lives. He heads the newsroom team here at Factly.
Hi everyone.
So Bharat, I think this is going to be a very interesting edition of the newsroom update because you know I was just talking to Harsha about the Kerala story,
Yes,
and
sure.
he was talking about all the kind of different claims. Um, Now, the bone of contention here is the whole thing of missing persons, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Because the filmmakers of the Kerala story claim that 32,000 women went missing from Kerala. And then some other parties made some counter allegations with some other data. Then the filmmakers changed their stance. So there's a lot of this happening. But I think this is a great example for us to really talk about how what we do at Factly is vastly different from what the mainstream media does,
That's right.
because
Yeah.
we use data and only data to talk about
Yeah.
story and publicly available data to really substantiate any
Yeah.
claim or to investigate a claim that someone else has made. So uh, your team has done a story on missing
That's
persons
right. Yeah.
data. So what I want to understand is, um, one, what was the rationale behind your doing this story at this particular time, and two, what are the main findings?
Yeah. Yeah, Parvati, like as you could see, this is something which has been appearing in the media. The Kerala story has been there, and as you rightly pointed out, there have been allegations from one side, and there have been counter allegations on it and all. So that is where we thought, okay, and the numbers reported were like they were varying, like each one was throwing up some numbers. So that is where we wanted to check what actually the real data shows. And for that, we wanted to go back to some reliable data. That is where we have the government data, that is NCRB's data, that is National Crime Records Bureau,
Yes.
which is a more reliable data. And they publish this information every year, anything relating to crimes and all, they do publish it. So that is where we thought, okay, let's check if they have any data relating to
Mm.
it. And that is where we found out that there is some information on the missing data. I mean, again, note that this is a reported data.
Yes.
It is not something which has been investigated. It is something which people who went to a police station, they reported it
Yes.
and all. So that information was provided by NCRB, and when we checked the data, there has been some interesting numbers that actually came up. And again, this information is available since 2016. Prior to that, we do not NCRB didn't have this information. So in the last 6 years, that is from 2016, there have been around 20 lakh cases which have been reported as missing.
Mm.
And within them, again, we could see that something which stood out was a gender disparity
Mm.
between females and males, wherein in 2016 around 60% were females, and over a period of time it has increased to 68% in 2022. They have been among totally missing. It has been 68% have been females. And one more data which was more obvious was around the states. Like there is some differentiation between different states. States like Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Delhi, and yeah, these are the states, Rajasthan. These were the states which have reported highest numbers.
Mm.
This, when you just look at the data, these are the numbers which come out for it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that as far as the basic information that we could find.
Mm. So I think what's also interesting is that you published a complimentary article to this, because when you talk about missing persons, it doesn't end at that, at
Right.
just that. Okay, the report that okay, these many people are missing. What your team has done is to put out another article
Yeah.
about the process of tracing these missing people. So I think I think what you should do now is take our viewers through why this is important and why this aspect needs to come into the conversation on missing
Yeah.
persons.
Yeah, this is where the critical part comes up. So because the numbers, yeah, people have been reporting it. So first thing what we wanted to check were what were the numbers showing it.
Mhm.
But again, the question is, okay, these are the numbers which are reported as missing. So now the question comes at like what was the what police and other authorities were they able to find?
Yes.
What is the other part of the story?
Yeah.
That is where we wanted to look out for. Like, do we have information on like the cases which have been traced? Those people who have been missing, were they traced and all? And again, we had to again rely back on NCRB, and yes, and again, it was good that the information was there. Wherein, apart from those missing, we also had information on the number of cases which have been traced, and a few numbers which actually come out are like, for example, like out of all the cases which have been missing, 50% at an all India level, 50% of the cases have been traced by the police authorities.
Mm.
So, and again, in that there's a difference between again there's a gender difference wherein it is higher among females. Among all the females who were missing, there have been around 60% of the females cases have been traced back, whereas it is a bit lower among male, around 44 to 48% is something.
Mm.
Among males, they have been traced. And even here, tracing, as I was pointing out, in the number of cases reported, there's a difference in the states. There's also a difference in the states as far as tracing is concerned. Few of the states like Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Jharkhand, there where not only the numbers were lower, the reporting numbers, even the tracing numbers were quite low. Whereas some states like Kerala and Telangana have as high as 85% of the cases which they have reported as missing, they were able to trace back. And not only that, even the other South Indian states also are fairly higher than India, Indian average, that is around 60 to 70% of the cases which have been missing have been traced.
Mm.
So this brings to the question about like why are these people going missing? Because
Mm.
most of the moment, I mean, again, this controversy and all those things, the moment we talk about missing, like it's more about being kidnapped or being I mean that is where the whole conversation was about,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So that is why we actually started looking at the what were the reasons for it.
Mm.
And we found out that a majority of them who were missed and then who were traced are because voluntary they have
Right.
gone missing,
Right.
like something, it could be a case of an academic failure, or
Mm.
they have eloped, or it could be
Yeah.
financial challenges wherein they wanted to
Yes.
leave. And then there have been few cases of elderly people like who are suffering from Alzheimer's or
Right.
Parkinson's that they have to live. And then there is a very small percentage, comparatively small percentage of instances wherein who have been kidnapped or who were part of this immoral trafficking and
Yeah.
all, where actually the most of the noise is about.
Yeah.
So by analyzing those missing cases and those cases which were traced and understanding those reasons, we get a more holistic picture that it is not all about the noise. The numbers actually have a different thing. So if a person is missing, it's not always a case of trafficking, but it could be a case of people actually voluntarily going missing.
Right.
That is something which we.
Yeah. I think as long as Bharat is here, if you have questions about this, and I think you should, do send them in. But regardless of that, we will be leaving the links to both these articles in the description of the video after this live is concluded. So definitely, I think I would strongly urge our viewers to go back and read these articles to really get a sense of what it is that we are talking about here. Um, so that said, Bharat, what is the kind of process that is followed for such stories?
Yeah. So to point out, like basically, there are three things that I really wanted to highlight. One thing is when you find out such data or anything, when you see it in public domain, look for the reliable sources. Which there are quite a many reliable sources which you can find in the NCR, in the public domain. Like in our case, in this story, there's an NCRB data which you could find in the public domain, which is reliable, which is
Yes.
published by the government.
Yes.
It's not only we as in faculty; it is like people like whoever you are watching out, look out for these public sources. You can always rely, I mean, come back to Factly if you have published an article relating to it. But yeah, government sources is one thing. Second thing is again understanding it's not all about absolute numbers. Like for example, when I was talking about the states and the missing numbers, the states which are pointed out, like Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, those states also we need to understand even the population is huge there.
Right.
So it is, I mean, comparing a state with a state like Maharashtra with a northeastern state, or let's say
Yeah.
like a state with a compared to lesser
Goa
population
also.
like Kerala
Yeah.
or Goa, it's not right.
Yeah.
So that is where something like a normalizing the data comes in. So apart from looking at what is the actual numbers, we also try to analyze on what if I'm looking from a population perspective. What like instead of a whole number, I'm looking at what are the number of missing cases per 1 lakh. When we did that, some states like Delhi, Telangana are those states wherein the number of cases reported per lakh is higher. So that gives us a more understanding of, a more better comparative analysis.
Yeah.
So these are few of those things that you can actually look out for thing. And then, as we already pointed out in the story, uh, the idea was to look at a holistic thing. Like all the media, everyone was pointing out what are the missing numbers. But we wanted to actually go a step further, the other side of the coin. It's not only the missing numbers. Why don't we even look at what were the number of cases which have been traced? So that gives an holistic picture. So
Yeah.
it is not only about missing, it is also about the effectiveness of the authorities and all to trace and all. So these are few things. I mean, look out for, I mean, if I had to summarize it, look out for reliable data, try to see if the data can be comparable,
Yeah.
and finally try to get an holistic picture, try to look at the other part of the story from what the media is reporting.
Yeah.
So these pictures, it's not only us, like as I said, the audience who are watching, I mean, even they can try to
Yeah.
search for these data. Yeah, and that is as an advice that we can give it.
Yeah. That's an important point that you've raised. But yeah, I think in case you know you're unable to sort of figure out where exactly to go or any of that, which is why we've been saying from the beginning, write to us with your questions. We are on social media at Factly India, and our YouTube, of course, is where you are right now. So use the comment sections, get back to us with questions, and I think that will also give you a sense of what kind of stories
Right, that's
people
right.
want to
Yeah,
read and know. And a lot of the efforts that the newsroom is putting into these articles is also being translated onto bite-sized social media posts that you can consume on the go. So if you are short on time or whatever,
yeah,
so just go follow us on social media, and you will so every single day there is all this informative content that we are putting out there. So definitely go and look it up. I think you will find that it is to your advantage. Um, and we have not received any questions today, which is
surprising.
which is for the first time since we started
Yeah,
doing these lives. But I do expect that when this live goes on as a published video, hopefully then
it will
people
be
can.
more. Yeah,
So yeah, I mean that's also a great thing if you can go back, read the articles, have
yeah.
questions, and then come back and ask us those questions. Even if you don't have any right now, that's completely fine. We will answer them whenever you do ask. So I think with that, we've come to the end of this edition of the Factly Digest. The next one is on 8th June, around the same time, 6 p.m. IST. And um, so yeah, do join us then for the next edition. And in the meantime, follow us on social media. And if you have not yet subscribed to us on YouTube, please do that. Consider joining our memberships. And yeah, keep your not just questions, keep your comments, questions, everything coming our way. And we will be very happy to engage with you. That's the whole point of this exercise of our coming live and talking to you in the real time. um, and is there a question? I'm just checking with my team. No. Okay. All right. Okay, so thank you so much again for joining us, and we will see you the next time on 8th June. And in the meantime, through our videos, through our articles, and through our social media posts. Thank you.
Thank you.